Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mixed Concepts channel for another IRL cricket chat. Based on the title, it's actually not clickbait. USA have actually broken a cricket record, and that is defending the lowest ODI score in the history of ODI cricket. Yes, they only scored 122 against Oman, but they somehow defended it. They won by 57 runs. They made Oman all out for 65, which is crazy. Yeah, the lowest score prior to today or yesterday, depending on how we look at it, prior to the game between USA and Oman, was when India defended 125 against Pakistan. And according to ESPN Cricinfo, this game occurred in 1985, which means after 40 years, a team broke this record. And it just so happened to be USA, the team I support. Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised because I saw some of the game and the fact that USA even got 122 was a miracle. Because at one point there were 31 for 5. All the best batters, you could say, were out and it looked really bad. But they managed to get to 122 and turns out that was more than enough. Also, by the way, in that game, every single delivery that was played in the complete game was bowled by a spinner, and that's a record as well. Yeah, this is more of a shared record than an individual or team record, but that's still a record as well. That's the first time in ODI history where the entire game was bowled by spinners. Not a single delivery was bowled by a fast bowler. So that was also another record that took place in this game. Now the interesting thing is Namibia could have broken this record of defending the lowest score because they got all up for 96 and they nearly broke it. They somehow almost defended 96 against Oman as well. Oman did win the game, but they lost 8 wickets. Sure, they chased it in 23 overs, but the fact that they lost 8 wickets meant that Namibia could have actually defended 96. But unfortunately for Namibia, it wasn't to be. And USA, a couple days later, after that Namibia-Oman match, actually managed to defend 122 against Oman. Yeah. And now coming to like the overall tri-series itself, which is part of Cricket World Cup League 2 between USA, Namibia, and Oman that happened over the past 10 days, I think. Yeah. From USA point of view, I would say a pretty solid series. Maybe the only game in which they lost against Oman in the first meeting. That probably USA could have won, maybe. But they beat Namibia twice. And it just seems like against Oman are really good in their home ground. They just seem to make the teams all out for a low score and then chase it down, or they manage to defend their low score. Although they did lose to Namibia in another meeting when they could not chase down like 170, I believe. Yeah. Now, when USA played Namibia in the first game, there was a bizarre reason for why the game got delayed. Apparently, there was like a marathon going on or something like that in Muscat on that day at that time. And the players from both teams they ended up reaching the ground like 1 hour later or 1.5 hour later. And the crazy thing is, the game was cut short. It was not a 50 over game. It became a 43 over game. Now, despite it being a 43 over game, USA actually scored like 290 something, which was crazy. Because if you had seen my preview, I did mention that I was expecting to see low scores because the last time uh, there was a League 2 tri-series in Oman, when Oman, Netherlands, and UAE played, there were low scores. Yeah, even like 175 seemed to be a good enough score. So that's what I was kind of expecting. So when USA actually made like 290, that was crazy. And Namibia naturally didn't get there. They lost by over 100 runs, which was great because USA won. Now, the second game against Oman, they got 151. Not a big score, but considering it was against Oman in Oman, maybe there was a hope. And while Oman did win very easily, they only lost 3 wickets, but it did take them 46 overs to chase down 152 because it was just an example of how difficult the pitches actually were to bat. especially against Oman. Yeah. Credits to the captain, Jatinder Singh. He actually made 82 not out. He overshadowed Mukamala's 80. Saitesh Mukamala, I think that was his best innings in a losing game when he scored those 80 against Oman in the first meeting. In the second meeting, he only made 2 runs, where USA broke the record. Anyway, coming to the third game against Namibia, again, USA batted first, and they made 268. Not a bad score at all. Andres House played well, making 80. Monang Patel. Monang Patel, he had a completely different story with Namibia and Oman. Against Namibia, in both the games, he made 50 plus scores. But against Oman, he was out for zero twice. He was out for a duck in both times they played. So, different opponent, different fortune. That's how it works. But apart from the individual point of view, the spinners, I did mention spinners would be really important to help USA win. And that's what happened. I mean, against Namibia in both the games, it seemed like the batters, they are the ones who helped USA win. They were more of the reason. Because scoring 260, 280, what, 290, yeah. Scoring anything about 250 is good in ODI, especially on those Oman pitches, which are not that great for batting. It's a bit tough for batting. But against Oman, that's where the spinners really could have helped USA win. In the first game, they couldn't pick up the wickets. That's why they lost. In the second game, they got all the wickets. That's why they won. Yeah, it's simple logic. But yeah, it was crazy. Milind Kumar, he definitely also deserves like a shout out, especially in the fourth game, the record-breaking game against Oman. Scored 47. It's crazy to think. 47 ended up being such a high score by an individual player because Oman couldn't score that many runs as a team. I mean, they scored 65, but they couldn't add more. They were actually as well 50 for 3. So really, USA did wonderful, especially Noshtush Kenjige. He got 5 wickets. Yeah, he actually got 5 wickets. I did mention that he and Harmeet Singh will be really important for USA to try and win these games, especially against Oman. And in the first game, when USA played Oman, Nosh Kenjige got 0 wickets. That's why Oman chased down 152. Harmeet Singh as well, I think he only got 1 or 2 wickets, and Milind Kumar got 1 or 2 wickets. That was the problem. They couldn't get the wickets. Otherwise, 152 was actually kind of defendable, but they didn't defend it. But in this game, they only scored 122 and still defended it. So it shows the spin-friendly pitchers can sometimes backfire. That's what happened to Oman in this case. But all in all, great win. Yeah, I would say a pretty good series overall. 3 out of 4, especially not at home. That's a good result in a League Two tri-series, I would say. Yeah, that's how the games went from USA's perspective. Although I did want to mention in the last game they dropped Netravalkar. Shaurabh Netravalkar was dropped for the final game. It was a bit of an interesting choice. I mean, at the end of the day, it makes sense because not a single ball was balled by the fast bowler. Netravalkar is a fast bowler, so you weren't gonna really use him in this game, it felt. So they bought in Yasir Mohammed, who's a spinner. They bought him over Netravalkar. So I can understand the reasoning behind that decision. But Netravalkar being dropped, it did sound a bit weird, but at the end of the day, when you win, you don't have to ask any questions or wonder why the team made a decision. That's the beauty of winning, because the decisions turn out to be right, even though at first glance they look ridiculous. Now, USA will still have to stay back in Oman. They'll be playing 3 T20I matches against them. I mean, if it's on the same pitch, then the T20s also will be really low scoring. And I have no idea how that will be playing out. I just hope that USA don't get swept. Because they got swept 3-0 at home against Nepal last year after a League 2, or that was before the League 2 tri-series, but still losing 3-0 sucks. It's really disappointing. So hopefully this time they can win at least one game against Oman. Ideally win the series. That'll be great. But I don't have a lot of expectations. I mean, the main matches are the League Two ODI games. Those are the ones that actually have more importance right now because every game in League Two matters to try and qualify for the 2027 ODI World Cup. We want to be in the top four spots by the end of the 36 games so that we can qualify directly to the ODI World Cup qualifier and not having to play an ODI World Cup qualifier playoff where if you have a bad tournament, you may not even make the qualifier, which means you can't even make the World Cup. So that's definitely something to look forward to in the next year and a half to 2 years. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to mention. US actually breaking a record, as I said in the title and at the start of this video. It's crazy to think that 122 is now the lowest successfully defended score. I thought for some reason it could be below 100. I really thought that. But apparently 125 was the record for India against Pakistan about 40 years ago until USA broke the record. Just a few hours after I've recorded this. I don't know when the game was done, but I am recording this less than 24 hours after the game between USA versus Oman. So good job to USA there. Uh, yeah, T20 eyes. I don't have much of a preview. Not really sure of the squads. I don't know what to expect really, because if they play on the same pitch, then it will be low scoring. But at the same time, I remember like some Emerging Cup was played, the Asia Emerging Cup, and in those games there was like 160, 170 plus scores. So if they decide to play the T20s on those pitches, then you could have high scoring games, or at least those 150 games, which also are really interesting. So until I know for sure what the pitches are, I have no idea. I mean, the best way to know is actually just see how the game plays out. Yeah. Anyway, that will be the end of this cricket chat. Will be the end of this video. If you're still watching the video at this point, thank you for watching the video till the end. If you did like my points I've made in this video, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content, especially on like USA cricket. Whenever a series is done, I like to talk about the points and give my feedback on how they did. Yeah, anyway, that'll be it. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. And until the next video, bye.